Most people will spend their entire life trying to understand why things happen to them, why they were rejected, why they were used, why they never became what they were capable of. They will read, they will watch, they will talk to people, and still feel like something is missing. The White Room did not have that problem. Not because the people inside it were smarter, but because it operated on one principle the outside world has almost completely forgotten. It forced you to see things as they actually are. Not as you hope, not as society tells you they should be, as they are. 4 white walls, no outside world, no comfort, just you and reality with nowhere to hide. Ayanokoji did not come out of that room with better grades. He came out with something far more rare, a mind that could not be manipulated. And what that room taught him is what we are covering today. Not as entertainment, as a framework you can use starting right now. But before we go any further, if this is the kind of content you have been looking for, subscribe, because what comes next you will not find anywhere else. When a human being makes a mistake, their first instinct is not to understand it. It is to survive it, to protect the image of themselves they have built in their own mind. So they reach for an excuse. The situation was wrong. The other person was wrong. Anything, as long as it is not them. The brain does this automatically. It is not dishonesty. It is survival. But here is the problem. A wound covered without being treated does not heal. It quietly gets worse. And the same is true for the mind. The White Room removed that covering. When there is no audience for your excuses, the excuses lose their power. What you are left with is the bare truth. And in that space, something extraordinary becomes possible. You can actually learn. Most people think acceptance means giving up. It does not. Acceptance in the language of the White Room means one precise thing: acknowledging what is real so you can interact with reality instead of with a story about it. You cannot change something you are pretending does not exist. You cannot grow past a moment you refuse to close. When you accept, the failure shows you exactly where your thinking broke down. That is not punishment. That is the most valuable data you can have. Everything else is built on top of this. Now here is the part that most people misunderstand. And because they misunderstand it, they suffer in a way they cannot explain. You make an effort. You are patient. You would help someone without needing recognition. And yet there are people around you who treat you like an option. Warm when no one better is in the room. Gone when it matters. They do not dislike you loudly. They do it quietly, in their choices, in their attention, in who they call first. So you examine yourself, and eventually the mind lands on the one thing you cannot change, the way you look. And you decide that must be the reason. The White Room would reject that conclusion immediately. Most rejection has almost nothing to do with you. It reflects the other person's limitations, their shallow criteria for value. And you are trying to earn approval from a system that was never built to recognize what you actually are. Before you label someone as against you, get accurate. Ask yourself, has this person ever done something real for me when nothing was at stake? How do they treat everyone else, not just me? And most revealing, who do they trust when they are afraid? Because trust is the one thing a person cannot fake forever. Now the part most people are not ready for. Think about a toolbox. A screwdriver is built for screws. A crowbar is built for leverage. When you use the right tool for the right job, the work is clean. When you force the wrong tool, you damage everything. The White Room extended this to people. Every person has a function they are genuinely built for, a strength that is native to them. And the intelligent move is to understand that function and work with it. But the White Room went deeper than tools. It went into trust. Close your eyes and place yourself in this situation. You are in a classroom. Every day after class, someone needs their bag carried home. Every person in that class offers to do it. Every single one. But every day, that person walks past all of them and comes to you. And they say the same thing. I trust you more than the others. I know you will not let me down. Now carrying that bag every day is inconvenient. You did not ask for it, but something happens when they say those words. because they did not choose the loudest person or the most popular one. They chose you. And before long, you are carrying that bag every single day, genuinely wanting to do it. That is not manipulation. That is trust and loyalty, working exactly the way they were designed to work. When a person feels genuinely chosen, genuinely trusted above others, the desire to protect that trust becomes one of the strongest forces in human behavior. They do not need to be tricked. They want to carry the weight, because the weight comes with meaning. This is why Ayanokoji never needed to force anyone. He observed. He found what each person was truly built for. He showed them that he saw it, and people gave themselves to that willingly, because it was the first time anyone had actually recognized them. The dark version of this also exists. False trust, manufactured loyalty, someone who gives you the feeling of being chosen without meaning it, only to extract what they need. The White Room taught this not to create that person, but to help you recognize when you are facing one. When the trust disappears the moment nothing is needed from you, it was never real. 3 things. Carry them. First, accept reality as it is, not as you wish it were. A mind that sees clearly is a mind that can actually move. Second, most rejection is not about your value. It is about the other person's range. Measure people by what they do when nothing is at stake. Third, real influence does not come from pressure. It comes from making the right person feel genuinely seen in the right place. That is what builds loyalty that lasts. This is the White Room, not a place, a way of thinking.